Hey everybody and welcome. It is me, your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend Joe Seavey. And happy Thursday, guys. And Thursday is part of our class that we like to call Picture This. Picture This is when I give you an image, a photograph, a drawing, a painting, any kind of image, and your job is to write a chorus based on whatever that photograph is. For those of you who don't know what a chorus is, I'm sure you do. The chorus is the sing-along part of any song that comes on the radio. The part that you always hear over and over. That's the part. That's the chorus, you guys. You guys already know this. You're songwriters. Anyway, we do this because, it's a really great jump starter of ideas. This is why I introduced this way back when we were still at the studio, physically at Performing Arts Studio West, located in lovely downtown Inglewood. And, it stuck one day. We were, just playing around with screensavers on our big TV in the front room. We were watching music videos to get ideas for songs. And then when we hit the pause button, after a while, that TV, if it's on for a long time, what happens is it goes into a sleep mode and then it starts showing you screensavers. So the screensavers would pop up. And some of them were beautiful, and be like, wow, they're very thought-provoking. And then I said to the clients one day, why don't we start writing song ideas based on these pictures that pop up on these Google images? They're absolutely beautiful. Maybe we could come up with some good ideas. And we did, and as a matter of fact, when we started that, we went on such a good roll. We got tons of songs out of those ideas. So, and I say this every week and I mean it. Every time, every time we do this, good comes from it. We get a lot of good sound ideas from this exercise alone. But everything around us, and I say this every week too, but I mean it. Everything around us, whether we realize it or not, is an influence, subliminally even sometimes. Like anything that gets you excited about wanting to write something new, right? Now, I don't always feel creative. Everybody I know who's a songwriter, and I know some big songwriters, and they're not always creative either. And the one thing I always ask when I do get a chance to talk to some of my very successful songwriting friends, a lot of times I said, you got to keep yourself open for inspiration, but inspiration doesn't always come at your beck and call when you need it. But I've created over the years some ways to keep that part of your mind open so that you can get in touch with some of your creativity, even when you're not feeling that creative. And this is one of those, exercises that we've been doing, over the years to keep us from drying out, because we can all dry out sometimes. And, the one thing that I always stress to you guys too is, and it's very true, when you're doing this exercise, when I give you the photograph, whenever I give you the photograph, and I will give it to you in a few minutes here, but when I give you a photograph, the one thing I really want you to do is I want you to stare at the picture. The beautiful part about having this on YouTube is you can hit the space bar and that'll pause the video. So you can take as much time as you need staring at the picture. Once you stare at that picture, here's what I want you to do. I really want you to go into a daydream. Stare at that picture until you're not here anymore, sitting down in front of your computer. You're actually inside here in the daydream. Whatever you envision in here, based on that picture, once you stare into it and then you go blank and you're up in here, when you pull back and you're back in your chair here, write down everything you saw. Write down everything you saw. Don't worry about rhyming it yet. Don't worry about any of that stuff, okay? I want you just to write down everything that you saw. Like, like almost like a laundry list. Write it down. Like, saw the sun, there was trees, whatever the picture has, write it down physically. Don't worry about making a story yet. But the rules are, the general rules of this are, it's a song, so you have to rhyme. It's got to rhyme. It's got to tell a story. And it's got to make sense to the listener. I want the listener to understand exactly what you're talking about from the first listen. I don't want them to get, everybody still might guess no matter what. There's a lot of songs that are out and nobody knows the true meaning of it. And you're in personal interpretation. It's what it means to you. And that's important. That's more important. But I just mean, it has to make sense to the listener, the idea of the story. The story's got to be kind of clear to everybody. I hope I'm not confusing you there. Anyway, now, like I say every week, and I'll say it forever, this is your universe. Whatever you see in this picture, even if it doesn't matter what it is, whatever it means to you, write about that, okay? Even if it's a picture of a dog, and it makes you think about your aunt because your aunt had a dog just like that, and you're writing about your aunt, that's fine. This is your world. You write whatever you want to write about, okay? So this is your universe. The only rules that apply to this is it's got to rhyme, it's got to tell a story, and it's got to make sense. That's it. And sometimes the picture's not as important as what it does for you so that you get inspired to write something based on what you're looking at. The picture's important, but not as important as you would think. It's a starting point to get your creativity flowing. Like when I write with other people, I tell you this all the time, but it's true. You don't want somebody coming over paying you money to write a song while you're both staring at a blank piece of paper. They're coming to you to come up with solutions. When they don't see anything or hear anything, your job is to bring it out. I have a cool idea. What do you think of this? So this picture, this class is basically just to get that creativity fluctuating, starting, and get the juices flowing for ideas. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Anyway, I'm going to show you the photograph right now that I picked for tonight's Picture This theme. So without further ado, here it is. Okay, so we're back. You saw the picture? It's a guy and a girl. It's a drawing, like a cartoon or a comic strip almost. Or, it's not super realistic drawing, but, it's almost like comic strip looking. But I liked the picture. I thought it was cool. And of course, there's a knife in the guy's heart. But it's figurative. Even though it's literal in the picture, to me, it's a metaphor. And the girl is yelling and knives are coming out of her mouth. Knives don't really come out of people's mouths, so this is all figurative. So, and the guy looks pretty hurt, physically as well as, maybe he's she really didn't stab him. She's hurting him with words. This is what I'm getting from it. This is pretty universal as far as I can see. It looks like that's what it's about, right? So the girl is yelling and knives are coming out of her mouth and one of them has cut him. And he looks pretty hurt. Okay, so now you're going to come up with a whole different story than me, of course. But this is what I came up with. So I'm staring at this. I go into my little daydream. And in my mind, of course, there's a whole movie playing when I go in my mind. And I pictured this girl who has non-realistic expectations of a relationship. And over the years, she has become jaded and kind of hardened. Been there, done that. That's the kind of attitude she has. And she thinks everybody's out to, screw her over, they're always out to get her for something. And no one can ever get close to her because of that kind of vibe that she gives off. So, she's never going to find love or friendship even with that kind of jaded attitude. So this is what I wrote based on this photograph. So here it is. You're always searching for someone to save you. Unrealistic, erratic behavior. Jaded and hurting and constantly blinded. Looking for love, but you'll never find it. I'll read it one more time. You're always searching for someone to save you. Unrealistic, erratic behavior. Jaded and hurting and constantly blinded. You're looking for love, but you'll never find it. So that's what I got out of this picture. So I'm staring at it, and that's the little movie that played up here in my head when I went into my little daydream. So anyway, guys, remember, it's got to rhyme, it's got to tell a story, it's got to make sense, it's got to be catchy. It's a chorus. If I sang that with rhythm, although I don't have a melody for this yet, but I do have the cadence. You're always searching for someone to save you. Unrealistic, erratic behavior. Jaded and hurted and constantly blinded. Looking for love, but you'll never find it. So that's kind of the, it could even be slower or faster, but that was the cadence that brought me to it. You know what I mean? So that's what I came up with. Anyway, guys, that is all the time that we have for tonight. I can't wait to see what you come up with for this. I can't wait to talk to you guys about this. What you wrote. I can't wait to read the literature and the art that you bring to me when you send me your lyrics. Until then, guys, this is your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend Joe Seavey. I love you guys. Be good, and I will see you very soon. All right, guys, love you. Peace.